Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Oh, this is brilliant.
Young Howard wrote many stories and scripts.
Mr. Quackers was on his magic toilet.
But then one day he grew up and discovered alcohol and laziness, so he put his writing in the attic and forgot about it. 20 years later, Howard found his old stories and persuaded his lifelong friend Rufus to read them. Join Rufus and Howard as they embark on a mission to read everything he wrote, from the age of 5 until now, in The Worst Writer in the World.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to the worst writer in the world. Hooray! It's time for a brand new story,
It's
Howard.
time?
And
It's
one of
time
those,
for a brand new story.
It's jump for a brand new story. It's time for a brand new story, a multi-part story. We haven't had one of those for a while, have we?
Oh,
Haven't had one of those
wow.
for a while. This one's actually in 6 parts at the moment.
Currently.
Although there will be more at some point because you're going to write the ending, right? At some point.
That's right.
But as always, if you are in the gang, if you are a member of our Patreon, even on the lowest, cheapest, scummiest tier,
Yeah.
then you can get all 6 episodes that currently exist of this story right now and listen to it all at once instead of waiting like some kind of chump.
Chump. Also, some time chump. Also, if you join the Secret Gang, you'll get the episodes I haven't written yet because of time travel power.
Maybe. I mean, that might be true because
Actually,
you might be listening in the future because of time travel. So you know.
Yes, that. Yeah, only that way. In fact,
But you will, okay, so Howard hasn't written the ending yet. What we've done is we've recorded the script that Howard wrote many, many years ago, but we haven't written a modern ending as we often do. But Howard will do that. And as soon as he does it, we'll release it to the gang, right? They'll get it
Yes.
first and long before anyone else, probably, because it's not like you're going to leave it to the last minute, is it? It's not like you're going to do it like a day before we have to release it on Worst Writer. That's not going to happen. So they'll probably get it like tomorrow.
maybe they'll get it yesterday.
Anyway, enough time travel jokes.
Yes.
Let's get on with the real recording of this. But remember, if you don't want to listen to just part 1 and then have to wait 2 weeks for part 2 and then another 2 weeks for part 3 and so on until part 6 sometime in 2039, then join the secret gang at patreon.com/manbycow right now and get all 6 episodes immediately and binge yourself stupid.
Oh yeah.
Let's get started, shall we?
Yes, please. What we're about to look at is arguably the best titled movie I've ever written.
Yeah. I've kind of chosen this one from the list of possibilities based entirely on the brilliant name. What's it called, Howard?
It's called Time Jump.
2 of Howard's favourite things, jumping and time. It's about time travel, though, right?
Yes.
Like Doctor Who.
It is a time travel. I looked at time travel movies, all of them
Yeah.
ever made, and decided and realised and understood that time travel movies are about a person whose wife dies and he has to time travel to save it.
Okay.
Her, sorry.
Oh my God! So we can see the level you're working at. I looked at time travel movies and I'm like, the wife's dead. Got to save it. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a prop. It's not really a wife. It's just there to get saved,
Yeah.
so isn't it? Right, so this is my attempt to write a time travel movie.
Okay.
And because I'm so bad at time travel, as we've learned from previous entries like Doctor Who.
Is it gonna have amazing Howard Long science in it?
No,
I hope you explain the science.
It falls to shit pretty soon, I think, and I don't know how much script there is there, but it is in no way complete.
Well, we have got 37 pages.
So only 37. So there's a third of a film there.
Yeah.
And the first third of a film is usually the best third.
Well, yeah. You certainly with the ones we've read of yours, it seems like
Mine.
They begin
in
really
general.
well. They begin really well.
But it might also be true of a script that's only 37 pages long, that therefore the first 10 pages are the best, and then it's just awful afterwards.
That's why you gave up. You're like, oh god, it's so boring.
Oh god, his wife's dead. Oh god.
She's still dead.
Oh
God,
god,
she's
time
still
travel.
dead.
How's he going to time travel?
How's he going
He gets in the TARDIS.
How's he going to save it? Okay. Exterior, Great Russell Street. Day, rain.
Brilliant.
It is November. It's wet and windy. But it's central London, and people have places to be or things to see.
I think I prefer how I describe London in The Firm. It's more vibrant.
Yeah, all we know here is that it's raining, but people are doing stuff anyway. And we also know by implication that everywhere else except central London, the moment it rains, no one bees anywhere or sees anything. Right? The disagreeable weather is certainly not stopping the tourists.
Yeah, I mean, if it did, then there wouldn't be any, would there? They'd just stop coming. They were like, wait a second, it rains in England, let's not go there.
Fucking awful. What you say is there's loads of rain, but they've got a palace to look at.
Yeah, which is how we do things here. We go like, where should we go on holiday? Nobody goes like, where's it raining? Oh, let's go there, shall we?
Yeah, but maybe that is the same, because we go, okay, where does it have different weather to us, right? We're like, oh, rain and cloudy, and I want to go somewhere where it's definitely not going to be rainy and cloudy. Maybe people who live in sunny countries are like, you know what? I'm fucking sick of wearing sunglasses and shorts all the time and being happy. Right? Fucking sick of being happy and not needing to spend much money on clothes because it's always warm and, you know, having nice food. I am sick of that.
Yeah.
Like, where can I go where it's miserable and rains a lot
Yeah.
and everything's really expensive, so you have to get all your food in Tesco?
Or Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
What
Which,
country?
yeah. English food is
country-
not bad, but the stuff you can afford is.
Yeah. I'm going to try their fish and chips. I've heard that's really good. Let's go to the Weatherspoons
yeah.
and try it. In fact, specifically, let's go to the one near Trafalgar Square that does it with crisps.
Yeah. Fish and crisps. Is this what they mean by fish and chips? I was led to believe that in the UK chips are something different and, like, you know, not crisps.
Yeah.
But you're telling me all this fish and chip stuff, that's just fish and crisps. That's a real surprise. Now, or go to another Weatherspoons where they do normal potato, you know, fried potatoes, normal chips, French fries, whatever you want to call them, but they're the driest thing you've ever tasted in your life. Like they started being desiccated 100 years ago, and then they served it to you. And when you stick your fork in it, it turns to dust.
Yeah.
A ghost comes out of it and tries to possess you. You're like, excuse me, Weatherspoons, these chips are rubbish. Could I get some better ones, please?
That's right. In the UK, like a chip is a British chip is kind of like soggy on the outside and like kind of soggy on the inside, and that's quite nice. A French fry is crispy.
Soggy on the outside and soggy on the inside. That is correct.
A French fry is like crunchy on the outside and soft and fluffy on the inside. But a Weatherspoons chip is kind of like stale and plasticky on the outside, and then just there isn't an inside.
That rotted away years ago. The inside of that
the ghost,
chip.
is, yeah, like you say, the ghost got out.
ghost
Tomb
escaped.
Raiders came and like took the interior
Yeah.
from the chip.
My students ask me about British food sometimes, and I like to tell them that I think, in my opinion, that British food isn't bad, but British people are bad at cooking. I think that's often true. Not always, but a lot of the time. You're like, oh, I've made some vegetables for you. And like, oh, really? That sounds nice. How did you make them? So, well, I boiled them for an hour. Okay, so you mean soup? You made soup? No, I strained the soup away. It's the stuff that you'd like supposed to take away after you make soup. That's what we're having for dinner. I chucked the soup away.
Got rid of the flavoured part. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, you know, like things like roast potatoes, Yorkshire puddings, like roasted meat, that can be amazing. But it really often isn't when British people roast potatoes can be fantastic, unless you're like, yeah, I roasted them, but I decided not to use any oil. You're like, okay, firstly, that's baked. All right. Or I was going to make roast potatoes, but then I did the usual thing. You boil them for a bit first. And then I thought, why don't I just skip the roasting part and just have boiled potatoes? Like, well, because that's the worst thing you could. That is an insult to potatoes. Potatoes do so many great things, like so many different great things you can do with potatoes, and it's difficult to choose which. Like you go, okay, roast potatoes, good chips, mashed potatoes, sautéed potato, whatever the fuck,
Yeah, yum.
It's all good except boiled potatoes. Why is that? Why is that part of British food? Who said? Oh yeah. I'm just going to boil it. I'm going to boil the vegetables. I'm going to boil the potatoes. Then I'm going to boil the beef.
Yeah, because it's the healthiest option, isn't it? To boil a potato. I don't know.
Not the way we do it.
I mean, if I have
No,
boiled
God.
potatoes, I put a load of butter on them, so that kind of sorts it
And
out.
mash them, right? Yeah. I mean, boiling potatoes is one step away from good potatoes, but you've got to do the mashing part and the adding things that actually taste of something, Yeah, so my students ask me about fish and chips, and like, because as far as tourists are concerned, they go to places like they go to pubs or restaurants, and they'll spend an absolute minimum, even in a pub, it's like £10 for a plate of shit fish and chips that feels like it was desiccated 100 years ago, right? And ghosts coming out of it. But like fish and chips was fast food, right? That's where it comes from. It's not like, oh yeah, fish and chips is the best food. Fish and chips is like, I can't be bothered to cook. It's like our version of McDonald's, right? No one thinks it's high quality or good, but it's greasy and therefore it tastes nice because of the grease.
Yes.
And you get it on the way home, possibly from the pub, and you eat it with a little wooden fork or a spoon in your case.
Yeah, or a spoon, exactly. But that's why, but that's why it's got to be. I don't know what I was going to say. Still got.
It's got to be fast food. You can't have it in a restaurant, right? If you go to a restaurant and order fish and chips, then it's going to be rubbish because they try and like upgrade it somehow, try and make it healthier. But if you make fish and chips healthy, all you're doing is taking all the flavour away, right?
Yes.
I'm not saying they're good. I'm not saying let's all eat greasy fish and chips. But if either do that or don't eat fish and chips, they're both valid choices. I eat the greasier stuff you can find, or just get something better. Surely.
Could go for some chips now.
But what kind? Do you want super greasy chips, or would you like this hollow potato shell
I want
that
the
I've got
Wetherspoon.
from the 1930s?
Yeah.
Because the Wetherspoons will only charge you £3 for that. It's a
Husk of
bargain.
the husk of a long dead chip from Wetherspoons. The soul has not been. The soul left this chip many years ago.
Yeah. It's been haunting some sprouts ever since. Excuse me, waiter, my sprouts are haunted. Can I send them back and get some unhaunted sprouts, please? I think it's haunted by the ghost of my chips. So, okay, everyone. Next time you find yourself in Wetherspoons, because I know you're all scum. Next time you find yourself in Wetherspoons and you order fish and chips, I want you to send it back with that excuse.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't. Obviously, most chips don't come with sprouts, so you can say carrots.
I
Whatever.
mean, no chips come with sprouts.
You can say, okay, excuse me, waiter, my carrots appear to be haunted by the ghost of my chips. Could you bring me some better food, please? And then I want you to let me know what happened.
Yeah.
No, don't do that. That sounds like a fucking prank show. God, I hate people who do pranks. Don't do pranks on people. Don't do that. That's a nice fun thing to talk about, but don't actually do it. And don't film it and put it on YouTube. Or TikTok or whatever. Just don't do it. Just be nice to people.
Wetherspoons.
Don't do it. Good advice. Yes, nip that right in the bud before when you're thinking about doing that Wetherspoons prank. Just don't go to Wetherspoons. Problem solved.
If for a moment you think, well, the beer's kind of cheap there, go to a beer shop instead. Get a beer from there.
Yeah,
and then
it's
go
even
and
cheaper.
find some horrible shit carpeted building and just drink your beer there instead. Pretend like you're there.
Yeah, I mean, you could just don't decorate one of the rooms in your house, and that can be your Wetherspoons room, right? Put a couple of uncomfortable chairs in and invite a local tramp around to spend all day, every day in there getting drunk. And there you go, you've got your own Wetherspoons.
Brilliant.
All right, so back to the script. Now we have thoroughly roasted Wetherspoons. Unlike them and their own food,
yeah.
which they only boil. Boiled chips, yes, there you go. All right, let's get back to the script. So the disagreeable weather is certainly not stopping the tourists.
The tourists aren't all the Wicked Witch of the West from Oz. They don't melt when it rains, so they're fine.
Okay. I agree.
Rain does not stop these people.
Yeah, they're not gremlins. The disagreeable weather is not making the tourists give birth to a load of tribbles out of their back. Just in case you were wondering. I mean, it's quite common on the first page of your scripts for you to tell us what's not happening.
That's very true. Yeah.
Or what is not in a place,
Yeah.
right? So it'd be good if this said, the disagreeable weather is neither making the tourists melt like the Wicked Witch in Oz, or have tribbles out of their back like gremlins.
Yeah.
And the aliens in M. Night Shyamalan's Signs, right?
Right, they don't like water. They should have picked a different planet to invade.
Yeah, a dry one, yeah. They should. This planet's got it's mostly water. Maybe we should skip this one. They drink water. They've got taps in their houses that create poison for us. Maybe and it rains a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe we skip this planet.
Or just invade the deserty bits.
We have successfully invaded the desert. We are not sure why, but we have succeeded. No one here, nothing of value for us.
I mean, I don't remember what they were. I've not. You watched it recently, didn't you, or did you?
I did,
skim
yeah.
through it. Do you know what were they there for?
No, I
What were
watched
the aliens
it.
there
I
for?
actually watched it. There was no... That's the thing about the whole point of that movie is that you don't really get much of the action because you're seeing this family that aren't really involved in it. They're on the sidelines. And consequently, you get no answers to any of your questions.
Right, so we don't know what the aliens invaded for. They didn't want to eat us or anything.
No idea.
No, but we're full of water. They wouldn't want to eat us either, would they? They've got similar gremlin problems, haven't they?
Now, I know what they were doing. They were coming to Earth so that they could go to Weatherspoons and order the food, which has never seen water.
Yeah.
These chips are amazing. I'm an alien, by the way. These are amazing chips for my alien water-hating mouth. Waiter, more chips. And can you make sure that their ghost has gone off and haunted some sprouts? Then, through the crowds, moves a dark figure. Something sinister, straight out of a comic book.
It's Darkman. It's Darkman.
It's
Liam Neeson.
a ghoul. So that's Alan Gould.
Alan Gould.
Alan
Well, Ra's
Gould.
al Ghul is played by Darkman, isn't he, in the Batman movies?
Yeah, that's
So,
true. Yeah, you were correct. But that's not him. It's Alan. It's his brother Alan Gould. So although he looks like Darkman,
Isn't that what his middle name is, though? Alan Gould, isn't it?
Ras
Al
Alan.
Ghul. And A is an initial for Alan, right?
It is okay. So
I'm fighting Ras Alan Gould.
it's actually Rash. That's not his name's Alan Gould, but he's very impetuous. So people call him Rash Alan Gould.
Oh, yes.
He's always making decisions without carefully considering it first. Our Alan. Alan Gould.
Oh, no.
Why don't you sit down and think about things before you rush into them? If you're going to kill Batman, at least make a plan. Otherwise, you're just going to fail again. There he goes, Rash Alan
But look
Gould.
at Bane. Bane's got it all sorted. He dug a hole. He knew. Put Batman in it.
Dug a hole, broke
What's your
Batman's
plan?
back. Very clever. What he forgot, of course, was that he's in a movie and he was not the good guy. So, just because you break someone's back and put them in an inescapable hole,
Yeah.
he still managed to escape. All right, so a sinister moving figure, Alan Gould. The Ghoul, Alan, is dressed entirely in black with a long black trench coat like Dracula's cloak.
Does it say Dracula's cloak? Look at this.
Yeah. He's wearing a long black trench coat, but like Dracula's cloak. So it's probably got red bits on it, right? It's got red bits on it and
It's got Dracula in it. That kind of thing.
turns into bat wings sometimes. Not the bat wing. I don't mean it turns into Batman's plane, all right? I mean like actual wings of a bat kind of thing.
I know what I mean. Yeah.
His face is entirely concealed. Firstly, by a deerstalker stroke pilot's hat with the flaps down. Firstly.
Which is it?
No, yeah. Are they the same, deerstalkers and pilot
No,
hats?
he's got two hats on. Firstly, by the deerstalker. Secondly, by the pilot hat.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So he's
got a
wearing two
cowboy
hats.
hat. He's basically a hat salesman.
All right. Well, he's the hero, so he doesn't want to get deleted from from existence right at the beginning of the movie, right? Or is he the hero? Or is he the
Yeah.
villain? Well, he's important.
Who can say? We don't know who he is. He's Alan Gould. I mean, with a name like Alan Gould, he's got to be a villain, hasn't
I
he?
don't know. Alan seems like a hero name to me.
Yeah, villain.
Oh, here comes
Oh,
Alan, the hero of Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. Alan, like, instead of Indiana Jones, turns out his real name, like, hey, we called the dog Indiana. Your name's Alan. Alan Jones, okay? Like, no, Dad. Come on, I don't like my name Alan. Stop calling me Alan, man. Yeah, that's what I remember from Indiana Jones. That exciting scene where it turned out his name was Alan.
That's right. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that as well. Don't go and check anybody. But
No,
that's
no.
exactly what happens.
Who else is cool? Like, who does people generally think is cool?
Who do people think is
Yeah,
cool?
character-wise. Who's meant to be a cool character?
Mr. Freeze. Mr. Alan Freeze from Batman.
Alan Freeze,
He's cool, right?
Alan Batman. Let's not forget Alan Batman. Is his full
Yeah.
name. Hello, my name's Alan. I'm
Yeah.
vengeance. I'm vengeance, I am.
Oh, no.
Yeah, right. All right, Alan.
Yeah, like
There you
that.
go. I mean, that's the character people think are cool, isn't it? Batman. I mean, not so much in the 60s, but now they think Batman's cool. But if he was called Alan Batman, it'd all be like like the 60s TV show. But no, you want it. I don't want it to be camp. If he's called Alan Batman, it has to be as serious as it is now. But he has to keep saying, instead of saying I'm Batman, he has to keep saying I'm Alan. Right? But then everything else is exactly the same. I'm Alan Batman, and he punches someone to death for no good reason.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not everything's not exactly the same because he says a lot of things with the word bat in. So he goes like, quickly, let's go on the Alan Bat bike, and like
The Alan Batwing. Quick, I'm going to use my Alan Batarang, or my Batter Alan, as I like to call it sometimes. So that's what's going on with Alan Batman. But back to the script. Meanwhile, back in the script, there's a ghoul, Alan Ghoul, in fact, dressed entirely in black with a long black trench coat like Dracula's cloak. His face is entirely concealed, firstly by a deerstalker strip pilot hat with the flaps down. Secondly, by a thick, unkempt beard and moustache.
okay, right, yeah.
And thirdly, by an antique pair of Spitfire pilot goggles with mottled lenses, all the colours of the rainbow. So he's got a beard and a moustache, and he's wearing some kind of hat, but he's not entirely sure which type. And
yeah,
he's got pilot
he's wearing
glasses on.
pilot's goggles,
Yeah.
and then there's like, what's his hat? Is it a deerstalker or is it an aviator's hat? I mean, which could it be?
Pretty much the only part of the ghoul's face that can be seen is a broken nose.
Oh,
At first glance, he appears to have a hideously deformed, humped back. But on closer inspection, it is merely a black backpack. As you know, I have that problem quite a lot. Sometimes when I'm walking around in London, and I just like look around, and I'm like, fucking hell, look at all these people with hideously deformed, humped backs. Oh no, hang on,
yeah.
they've got bags. It's just bags. Oh, look at all these people like dragging a weird square part of their body around behind them on wheels.
Yeah.
Oh, no, hang on.
No,
Suitcase. Hang on. Hey, look at that person with a smaller human growing out of their hand.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. That's a child.
I do. I get that because of my eyesight as well. I'm like, oh my god, look at that four-legged, two-headed human, and then like, oh, that's just two people stood next to each other, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh no, hang on.
Yeah.
And one of them's got another four-legged, one-headed human coming out of its hand on a bit of string that's chasing a bone.
Yes. Yes. Famously, dogs do.
So people choose not to see him.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Like someone's doing a little survey. Do you want to look at that guy? Do you want to see him? Yes or no? Okay, no. All right. Here's your blindfold. There you go. And you, sir, would you like to see that man over there? No.
Do you
Okay,
want
no.
to see that guy? Not really, no. Okay.
No, he's got a hideous hunch. Oh no, sorry, I was being really ableist then. But to be honest, it's okay because he hasn't. It's just got a bag.
He hasn't.
He's got a bag on. People choose not to see him. I guess what we mean is they're not looking at him. They're avoiding looking at this hideous, deformed. Oh no, it's a bag. Oh my god, he's so horrible. Oh no, he's just got a beard.
Yeah, somebody in is wearing a weird coat, and they're all really hairy. Obviously, he just looks like a tramp, and everyone's like, get out. of the
Not
way,
even
tramp."
that, right? He's got a hat on and aviator glasses, and he's got a bag and a long coat. Nothing about him is hideous at all, except he's got a broken nose.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he looks like a hipster. Maybe he looks like somebody who's trying to get you to go to some kind of like steampunk museum.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, don't look at the man. He's going to give you a flyer.
Oh, no, you're right. A pilot goggles. Antique pair of Spitfire pilot goggles. No, you're right. Oh, yep, absolutely. People see him. He's probably got big boots on and a lot of kind of accessories going on as well. A lot of steampunk accessories. And they're like, yeah, no, you look great, but you want something. I like the way you look. It's like you've obviously put a lot of work into it and it suits you, but I don't want to do whatever you want me to do. I don't want to go to the exhibition or the club night or the weird cafe performance or
Or the escape room.
or your performance poetry night. Not interested, sorry. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, people choose not to see him and move fluidly out of his way as he heads with a driven purpose towards Exterior, the British Museum.
Yeah. And he's going there with a driven purpose, is he?
Yeah, he's driving his purpose.
Yeah, he's got a tortoise and he's taking it in his car.
He's driving.
No,
he's driving
sorry, a dolphin.
He's driving a tortoise. Absolutely. I'm just driving this tortoise. Yeah. Well, what I do is I sit on the back of this tortoise, right? And when sometimes it asks me for a magic bomb. Right? Sometimes it asks me for a magic bomb, and I give it a magic bomb, and that means we can teleport. That's how that works. That's my job. Alan Gould, nice to meet you. Alan Gould. This is my job, riding a tortoise. Yeah, no, he's going to the British Museum, and he's, I don't know, it's called Time Jump, so he's a time traveller, right? Maybe.
Well, we don't know he's a time
But he's
traveller.
wearing, no, I mean, what I know from this is he's got an antique pair of Spitfire pilot goggles, he's dressed like
so he's from
Dracula,
the past, then.
seems like he's from the past, right? And he's going to the British Museum. So what I reckon's happened is the British Museum have come round his house and nicked all his stuff, right? In the past. They came around, nicked all his stuff, took it to the British Museum. He's like, right, I'm going to get that back. I'm going to go and get my fucking stuff back from the British Museum. But time travel. I don't know why. I guess we'll find out later why he needed to time travel to do that. Maybe they just put it away for a long time and only brought it out into display recently.
Right. Yeah. Maybe he's going to go and,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to looking forward to the end of this. What's he going to do? What's he going to do?
I don't know, look at the stuff. I'm thinking maybe he just.
That's a good idea. Yeah, maybe he is. Maybe he is going to look. Forget what I said. Maybe he's going to look at the stuff.
Yeah, that's what most people go to the British Museum for, isn't it?
To be honest, you're much more likely to be correct. Of the people who go to the British Museum, I reckon the percentage of people who go to look at the stuff compared to the percentage of people who are time travellers from the past going to get back what the British Museum stole from their house.
Yeah.
I reckon your idea is much more likely to be like way higher percentage.
Yay!
Exterior, the British Museum. Without the summer sun and people lazing in the forecourt lawns, this 16th century building looks decidedly sinister and looms...
I'm doing it.
Oh.
I'm doing it. I'm saying things that aren't there. The sun is not there.
Yes.
And
Yeah, you are.
people aren't there sitting down enjoying themselves.
And the fact of that makes it look sinister. Because, during the summer, when there's loads of people lazing around outside the British Museum, it's quite a friendly building. But then when those people go home, it becomes very spooky.
Yeah.
And then it starts threatening you and stealing your phone and stuff. That's what it does at night. I mean, to be fair to the British Museum, it has learned from us, the British, that stealing is okay.
Yeah.
Stealing and refusing to give things back, that is okay. And so it's gone, I guess that's how things work. And then that's why at night it goes out and steals people's phones. All right, so the building looks decidedly sinister because there's no one sunbathing in front of it. All right. And
that means a lot of buildings right now look pretty sinister.
yeah, all of them in this country at the moment. And it looms ominously over Alan Gould. The sky, a dark grey background. Dracula framed by his castle. So you want the director to kind of emulate a moment. Yeah, you need some lightning, right? And then you want the ghoul to start sucking people's blood and stuff.
And the camera angle is from quite low down, so you
Yes.
see the flapping cape and everything, and
Definitely.
he's just a silhouette against this dark building and this grey sky.
Brilliant. And then he starts eating people.
Yeah, and then we pan left, and there are actually some people sunbathing anyway.
Yeah, looking at him like, what the fuck? Yeah. And then Buffy turns up, stakes him the end.
Yeah,
Stopping momentarily to look at this sight, the ghoul then heads on towards the main entrance. What, the sight of himself?
sight?
The sight of himself
Oh.
standing in front. Stopping to
thing is that-
pose, right? That's what he's doing.
That's amazing. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but because it's the 21st century, when you said stopping to view this site, immediately I spelt it SITE in my head, and I was like,
Why does it have to be the 21st century for that? I mean, that the British
we didn't
Museum's
have websites then.
been a site since the 16th
Yeah, no, I
16th
meant like
century,
there were
right?
like a
Okay.
website.
So you
I was
thought he got
thinking-
his phone out and started looking at the British Museum's website to see what they'd got,
Yeah,
what was on,
something like that,
what was on
but I didn't
display
know
at the
what
moment.
site.
Okay.
Because you said this site, I thought this isn't.
Well, no,
one.
if
I
we're
was
gonna-
thinking Zeon, the worst writer in the world, man by Caldecott or something.
If we go with that idea that it's the 21st century, therefore what does it mean? Stopping momentarily to look at this site means taking a selfie, right? That's what he's doing. He's like, fucking hell, I look cool. Oh my god, I have got my long coat on. I've got my aviators, hat, and glasses for some reason. All right, and I'm standing in front of this beautiful, huge building that is looming ominously because of lack of sunbathers. I mean, I was not expecting that, because every time I've come here in the past, of course, it's been sunbathers, so it's been quite friendly. But today, ooh, ominous. So I'm just going to click, 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 click. Okay, looking good. Instagram. All right, nailed it. But then once he has taken a selfie and uploaded it to his Instagram, the ghoul then heads on towards the main entrance.
At Alan Gould.
Yeah, he's probably got a bit of a more playful, something like Alan writes or something. Like he likes to write a little description of the places he goes to. Alan visits, or Alan the traveller, Alan time man,
yeah.
time Alan. That's what it is.
Time
at,
Alan.
At Time Alan. Oh, shall I check
Jumping
if
Alan.
Time Alan is something we could have? I want to try and sign up for Instagram with Time Alan. Hang on. Instagram. I suppose I could just search Instagram, couldn't I? What am I doing? I just search for Time Alan. All right. It's a guy with a lot of
Time.
Jamaican flags on his clothes. It looks like he might be publicized. Like it's all very clearly Jamaican colors, like flag colors, on clothes and hats and bags, like he's selling it or something. But his name is Time Alan, and then his description just says Alan Time. So tragically, we can't have the Instagram Time Alan. Although if we had, I don't know what we would have done with it, because it's not like I ever post anything on
That's
the worst
okay.
right in the
I've
world.
already secured us Jumping Alan, so we're good.
Interior, the Great Court, British Museum. The ghoul enters, a dark figure in a bright white chamber. Cut to interior, security, British Museum. A security guard sits watching a wall of monitors, on which he sees the ghoul. He picks up his radio. Anyone in the Great Court? He says. Radio crackles. Hey. That's security 2. You see that dodgy tramp? Interior, the Great Court, British Museum. Security 2 stands halfway up the stairs by the reading room. He surveys the crowds, and Security 2 says, "Where? No." The ghoul appears quite close by, below him.
Difficult ask, though, isn't it? Because, I mean, like, you go to the British Museum, like 50% of the people there are probably, like, dodgy-looking tramps, aren't they?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they are.
Yeah, just hairy, wet people coming in off the street. It's like, which one?
I'm looking at the people downstairs, and all of them are wearing long black coats like Dracula, right? They've all got aviator hats and glasses on, and they're all carrying backpacks that make it look like they've got a hump, right? I think it might be a day trip of some kind of steampunk club.
Yeah.
No, Security 2 sees the ghoul, Alan Ghoul, and says, "Shit,
Yeah.
yeah." Interior, security, British Museum, Security 1. Could just be an eccentric.
Yeah, exactly.
Security 2
That's
says, smells eccentric.
Oh, wow, I can smell him from where he is.
Yeah. Security 1 says, we can't turf him out for smelling. Just, keep an eye out. Security 2 says, Wilco. Security 2 heads down the stairs in gentle pursuit of the ghoul, of Alan Ghoul. Cut to interior Egypt rooms. Upper floor, British Museum. Examining closely the mummified remains of a baby is colourfully dressed, grey-haired old dear in her 60s. Oh, I thought it was going to tell me her name. Is a colourfully dressed, grey-haired old dear in her 60s.
Wow.
She is
I
a...
didn't really realise that deer's got to that kind of age. Very impressive.
Or that they went to the British Museum to look at mummies. That's a surprise too, I would argue. And
Yeah.
the security
how
is
is this-
very relaxed, isn't it? They let
Yeah.
this guy in with his goggles on, and they let deer in.
Deer in. And this is like, and this child's a mummy as well. So they like there was no age restriction on sexual consent back in Egyptian times, I guess.
That joke would work.
Egyptian
That joke would work if it weren't for the fact that the line is examining closely the mummified remains of a baby.
Yeah.
No one said the
Oh,
word.
right.
No one said the word mummy.
Mummy. Well, I would say that all babies have been mummified, haven't they? Because that's what. Because that's what mummies do.
I don't know. You know what they
Just
say.
gonna mummify a baby. There we
You know
go.
what they say, Howard? Anyone can be a mum, but it takes a special kind of person to be a mummy. Like, I could be a mum if I wanted to. No problem. But it's hard work to be a mummy, isn't it? Because you have to get embalmed, like, wrapped in bandages and like buried and stuff. Not everyone can do that.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World, part 1 of Time Jump. Currently a 6-part story. And don't forget, you can get all 6 parts that currently exist right now by joining the secret gang at patreon.com/manbycow. And you get a load of other stuff too. And you make us really happy. And why wouldn't you want to do that? Scrooge. Bye-bye, milk.
Bye-bye, me.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.